Welcome to our conversation on the intricacies of the Ballerina Diet, a guide that really digs into how ballet dancers fuel their intense routines with balanced nutrition.
I'm excited to get into this. So what are the main factors that shape this ballerina diet?
Well, it's all about balance. Ballerinas need to stay lean while fueling their rigorous training. They focus on combining lean protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates to provide sustained energy and aid muscle recovery.
Yep, right. And it's interesting how their meal planning is structured. They have this idea of eating multiple small meals, like 5 to 6 times throughout the day, so energy levels remain consistent and they avoid fatigue mid-rehearsal.
Exactly. And that strategy not only maintains energy, but also helps in controlling portion sizes. The guide really emphasizes the importance of mindful eating, not just what, but how they eat. You know, concentrating on hunger cues and enjoying each bite helps avoid overeating, right?
Definitely. And the specific meal examples are super practical. I mean, breakfasts are highlighted as key. Think Greek yogurt with berries, oatmeal bursting with nuts and fruit, or even whole grain toast paired with avocado and eggs.
Yeah. Those options are not just delicious. They kickstart the metabolism in a way that supports a long day of rehearsals. And then you have the mid-morning snacks, like a handful of nuts, or a quick serving of cottage cheese with cucumber. It's like each meal is carefully designed to bridge the gap until the next performance.
And then comes the lunch with its balanced meals. Lean proteins like grilled chicken or fish, with a mix of colorful veggies and a side of whole grains like quinoa or brown rice. I think that really sets the tone for the afternoon.
Absolutely. Energy management is critical. Interestingly, the guide also explores pre- and post-workout nutrition, like having a banana with nut butter before dancing to provide a quick energy burst, and a protein shake or yogurt with fruit afterward to speed recovery.
Right. It's impressive how they recommend hydrating consistently throughout the day too. I mean, water, herbal teas, even things like coconut water get a nod for keeping muscle function optimal.
For sure. Hydration isn't just about quenching thirst. It plays a role in digestion, recovery, even in reducing fatigue. Plus, the guide warns against empty calories and processed foods, which makes sense when your performance depends on your body fueling every move with the right nutrients.
Speaking of which, the guide advises against eating things like candy, soda, and pastries. Instead, dancers are encouraged to opt for nutrient-dense foods that give them energy without the crash. I really appreciate that nuance.
Exactly, because beauty and strength are closely intertwined in ballet. It's fascinating how even occasional treats like dark chocolate are mentioned. They can serve dual purposes. A small treat that packs antioxidants without undermining the diet's balance.
Yeah, it's like they're saying indulgence is okay in moderation, as long as it fits into the overall nutritional strategy. But I do wonder, don't you think there's a risk some might push themselves too far with these strict guidelines, especially with the mention of extreme diets?
That's a great point. The guide clearly warns against extreme calorie deficits, like those so-called extreme ballerina diets of only 700 kcal. It explains that such deficits can lead to relative energy deficiency in sport, which might result in injuries, immune suppression, even menstrual issues. It's a gentle reminder that health must never be sacrificed for performance.
Right, and the balance is highlighted repeatedly. Even guidance on timing, like eating every 3 to 4 hours for steady protein intake, shows how detailed this nutritional mapping is.
And it gets even more granular. There are specifics like aiming for 1.4 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, tailored to help in muscle repair after those grueling rehearsals. The guide really dives into the science behind it.
Yep, fascinating. I also noticed the guide covers hydration strategies with precision, recommending, for instance, sipping around 150-200 ml every 20 minutes during class, and then replenishing lost fluid after the session. That level of detail is pretty impressive.
Absolutely. And let's not overlook the cultural nod. The Russian Ballerina Diet Plan is explored too. It emphasizes whole foods, structured meal times, and portion awareness, adding extra dairy and fish for adolescent dancers. It dispels a lot of myths about extreme restriction.
That comparison really underlines the idea that even among top-tier training regimens, there are multiple approaches to balance performance and health.
Exactly. It's like having a spectrum. From the gracefully crafted meal plans of the traditional models to more modern, nuanced approaches focusing on individualized nutrition, especially for vegetarians or vegan dancers who need to boost their protein sources.
And speaking of individual plans, the guide makes it clear that dietary needs can vary a lot, from differences in metabolic rates to variation in training intensity and even gender-based requirements, like how male ballet dancers might need more calories and protein due to greater muscle mass.
Yes, tailoring is key here. It emphasizes that there's no one-size-fits-all, so dancers should work with registered dietitians to fine-tune their meals. And this is particularly important during growth phases for teenage dancers who need enough calories and nutrients to support both performance and development.
Right, it's all about sustaining that energy and supporting bone health with nutrients like calcium and vitamin D, especially given the physically demanding nature of ballet.
Exactly. By including sources like dairy or fortified alternatives, as well as leafy greens, dancers can help prevent injuries like stress fractures and ensure steady, controlled weight management.
Absolutely. One aspect I found particularly interesting was the emphasis on meal prep strategies. The guide suggests batch cooking grains, roasting vegetables, and pre-portioned snacks, so dancers aren't left scrambling during busy rehearsal schedules.
Yeah, that's a smart move. It's like setting up little energy bombs throughout the day that keep you going strong without having to resort to quick, unhealthy options.
Right. And beyond just powering through rehearsal, there's this idea of mental well-being. The guide touches on how enjoying food without stress helps maintain not only physical stamina, but also the mental clarity needed for performance.
Absolutely. Food isn't treated as a mere fuel source. It's a part of a dancer's artistry. The balance between discipline and the occasional treat, like a controlled serving of dark chocolate, actually supports both nutrition and mental balance.
Speaking of mental balance, I do have one thought. While the guide is super detailed about nutrients and meal timing, sometimes it feels a bit overwhelming with all the specifics. How practical do you think it is for a dancer with a packed schedule to follow every single guideline?
That's a fair critique. In practice, adjustments are necessary. The guide serves as a comprehensive framework rather than a rigid manual. So dancers, along with their nutritional advisors, have to adapt based on their daily realities.
True. So, it's a balance between ideal recommendations and what's realistically achievable in a real-world, high-paced dance environment.
Exactly. It's more like a guiding blueprint instead of a strict rule book. And even when it suggests frequent eating, it's intended to help avoid energy crashes, not to burden dancers with constant food preparation.
Right. And that concept really ties together the overall intention of the ballerina diet, that of optimizing performance, ensuring recovery, and maintaining overall well-being, all while respecting the dancer's lifestyle.
Yes. And another cool component is the focus on timing post-rehearsal nutrition. For example, having a turkey avocado wrap combined with fruit soon after a performance can drastically speed up muscle recovery, thanks to a precise mix of carbohydrates and proteins.
That's spot on. And this whole nutrient timing concept also helps in preventing injuries. Proper recovery through nutrition means fewer chances of stress fractures and other performance-related injuries.
Exactly. Because in ballet, even a minor injury can sideline a dancer's career. So every bite counts. From the meticulous hydration guidelines to the detailed breakdown of macronutrients, like aiming for about 50-55% carbohydrates, 15-20% protein, and 25-30% healthy fats, the balance is crucial.
It's almost like a dance routine in itself, where every step, every movement is crucial to the overall performance.
Precisely. Every meal is choreographed to support the strenuous routines and long hours on the stage. And the guide even gives meal examples that incorporate both variety and flexibility, allowing for personal taste preferences while ensuring nutritional adequacy.
Wow, it sounds like this guide covers every angle, from practical meal ideas to detailed nutrition science, and even touches on sustainability and mental well-being.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach that marries art with science, ensuring that dancers not only perform at their peak, but also maintain their health and longevity in a demanding field.
Right. And ultimately, understanding this approach can also inspire others to think about their own diets in a more balanced, mindful way, even if they're not ballet dancers.
Absolutely. It serves as a model for balanced nutrition that many people might adopt, tailored to their own busy lifestyles, focusing on whole foods, mindful eating, and steady energy management.
Thanks for such an engaging dive into the ballerina diet. It's really fascinating how dietary strategies are so intertwined with performance and artistry.
My pleasure. It's always exciting to see the synergy between nutrition and performance, especially in fields as demanding as ballet.
And thanks to this guide, dancers have a detailed roadmap to help them not only achieve peak performance, but also maintain long-term health.
Exactly. It's all about sustainable, balanced eating that fuels both the body and the art.
Well, that wraps up our conversation on this fascinating topic. Until next time, keep moving gracefully and eating mindfully.